Nerd Soul.
Yeah, late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding down, bringing you that street geek and nerd soul. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's go. Please introduce yourself to that subscribe button. Go and hit that thing because we're gonna be talking about evil. Oh yeah, we in the home stretch. We got 3 episodes left. We're gonna talk about episode 11, but we are joined by the cinematic sorcerer. I give to you. You know him. You love him. He is Solar Gray. What's up?
Sunshine, my only sunshine.
Oh,
Oh, you make me happy sometimes when my skies are gray. Yeah.
Alrighty. You know what? We got episode 11. I'm gonna open it right up. I want to know what were your initial thoughts when the episode ended. How you feeling about this season 5 / season 4 epilogue ending beginning part?
So,
Uh-oh.
the end of this episode. I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, they are setting up something. No, I'm not gonna lie. The streaming model has me a little messed up. Because I sincerely thought that last week was our season finale. So I didn't know we were getting this episode this week.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, cool, I'm working this job, and then you hit me up like, we good for this weekend? I'm like, there was another episode? Well, I'm glad I brought my computer. At the end of this episode, I'm just kind of going, all right, where are you guys going? Because there was a lot that happened on a character level, but not a lot that happened on a plot level. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't move that much further toward the evil that is coming to New York.
Yes.
Or did we? I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, you know what? Let's just go on. Well, before we get into it, I want to say my initial thoughts. My initial thoughts is after the last, say, 5 to 6 episodes, this was kind of weak for me. It was kind of weak. I ain't gonna front. It was kind of weak. It was tough. It was. I struggled in some points, and I'm gonna go in and say the main point that I struggle with, so we can go in and get this bad boy off get this thing out the station. Well, keep it real. I know there's gonna be some people in the comments that are like, "Oh, you guys love Andy. You guys love Andy." Look, it makes no sense to me to do this with Andy's character, except for the fact to try to slightly redeem Kristen's character, but it seems like a sloppy shortcut with handling Andy this way. And maybe we'll get read in on something later on, but there's only 3 more episodes, and the way they did Andy in this episode, it seems forced and lazy. Am I tripping?
So, what I will say is that it is forced and lazy if what we see is what we get. And that hasn't been this show. So I'm seriously of 2 minds for it. One mind says Andy's still on that Winter Soldier-ish.
Yeah.
And the other half of me is going, Andy better be on that Winter Soldier-ish. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you on that. Like it, because it's way too sharp of a turn for his character. Way too sharp. And then something that may have given us an idea of why he was acting like this when Kristen started, watching Cheryl's video. She just completely cut it off. So we don't know everything Sheryl said to Andy, but we also don't know everything Sheryl said to Kristen, which would have been awesome. But hey, I know things got to get cut, editing floor, whatever. But I also have to circle back on Kristen's hypocrisy for just a minute.
You mean the overall theme of the show?
I know this woman didn't get high and mighty on the infidelity side. I know she didn't get high and mighty. I'm sitting here watching like, I know you ain't getting... Okay, hold on. So you mean to tell me you get to kiss David all lovingly, then pine for him for years, and also have sex with that demon Satanology dude or Satanistic dude, whatever they call it, the demonology man, whatever, that was making the fake demons, and Leland was mad about it. She had sex with him in the parking lot. Then came home, Sheryl saw it. She was just like, take a bath, don't worry about it. I cheated on your daddy. So, are you kidding me right now? So now it's high road time? Now it's moral time? Oh, so I ain't going front. Okay, I know two situations in real life where the woman had cheated on the man, like say 6 months ago, and then he cheats today, and since he didn't know about her cheating, homegirl acted like she never did nothing. It was straight laying into him until on one situation, until her sister came in and was like, you cheated on him. And in another situation where her best friend was like, you cheated on him. And then the whole thing opens up and it becomes it became a big kerfuffle. But my thing is, I know you ain't acting like you. I know you ain't gonna try to act like. If anyone should have at least a little bit of grace and be like, you know what? Let's try to see if we can figure this out. It should be you, Kristen.
See, that is a weird part that I'm split on. Only because we don't know what was on that tape that Sheryl gave her. Okay. So
right. Okay.
Let me cook for a minute.
All right.
Cheryl's tape was, so Andy, this is where they held you, removing pieces of your brain and your blood, and you are highly susceptible. But that wasn't Cheryl's video to Kirsten that we know of. You feel me on that?
Okay.
So I'm looking at this and I'm going, all right. Let's look at this not from an audience, well, not entirely from an audience point of view. All right. Because the audience point of view, we know what everybody's doing. We've got the omniscient eye. But Kirsten cheating is an emotional affair, and that is, I'm not going to say more allowed, but it's a bit sticky when it comes to the whole infidelity thing.
What about she had a physical affair?
Hold up, let me cook.
All right, go and cook. My bad.
Now,
go and do your cooking.
Now, during the course of her physical affair, she was possessed by a demon at the time. Okay, so just looking at this from someone who sees all the facts, but I'm trying to look through a reasonable point of view. If Kirsten doesn't know about the brainwashing, which is why, Leland's control over her husband, then I can see her going, even if I did cheat, I was dead at the time. I wasn't me at the time. Where what she sees through Andy is you're just losing your mind. And here's the second part. Andy is having an is emotionally cheating on Kristen, but he's also physically doing it. So in the mind math of an unreasonable person, the math adds up with, well, I'm having an emotional affair with a priest that's already messed up, but I come back to you whenever you're there. And yes, I slept with somebody else, but it was a one night thing and I never saw him again. Where you are having an emotional affair with the person that you're sleeping with regularly.
Okay, I can say
Okay.
so. I guess I'll give you that, but then someone with some sense has to come in and say, the hmm, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, girl.
That is also true.
You done slept with somebody. You don't get to get grace on your side and then know nobody else get no grace. It don't
Well-
see it don't work like that. See, you can't, especially since you the therapist lady. You know this
Right.
man messed up. Also, if you want to talk about messed up, you want to throw and slam stuff all around the room. You left him. You left him.
You know,
You left him up there. You ain't go back up to see him. Honestly, let's keep it real. You didn't go back to see Andy until someone told you that someone was playing with your toy.
also true.
Let's keep
Also
it real.
true.
So come
So-
on, Kristen. Look, if someone cheating is wrong.
Now,
But
see,
if both of y'all cheated, it seemed like y'all need therapy instead of, oh, now it's divorce time. Was it divorce time when you cheated?
well, are you familiar with the Pina Colada song?
Not really. Outside of like the small stuff you see in movies and commercials.
So that song is about a dude that's trying to cheat on his wife.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he answers an ad in the personals ads, if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain and all that stuff. And he's like, hey, I like all that stuff. So, he sends the letter back, this is pre whatever those dating apps are called.
Yeah, pretender and all that. You couldn't DM nobody. All right?
And then, so they did all that thing, they hooked up, and it turns out that the person that set the ad was his wife. So she was cheating on him by putting an ad in the paper, but he was cheating on her by answering it. And the song is kind of like, well, guess we got to talk. Because I like pina coladas.
Oh
You
man,
know,
but
so
I was
yeah.
like, is she all
No.
high and mighty and extra righteous right now?
And see, that's the
Are
thing.
you kidding me?
I bring up the high and mighty extra righteous thing because if she knows that Leland was messing with his brain, especially after possessing David last week,
Well, either
then-
way, she still know he's going through a trying mental time because from the outset, from her, she knows that something happened where he injected himself with like some poison or whatever.
oh yeah, and
So she knows he's going through a trying mental and emotional time.
yeah, and I get that, and I
And
love
she
how
left him up
passionate-
there. It was like, all right, peace out.
I love how passionate you get around this because I'm gonna remind you again, like I seem to have to every time we talk about Kristen. Everything, like your emotional investment is absolutely valid, and every point that you would make doesn't just make sense, but makes dollars and cents if you were dealing with a character who was rationally written. Okay,
Understood.
But Kristen ain't never done nothing. Like, you're getting mad at her like you think that we've seen her consistently be a good person.
Yeah, you're right on that one. And if you're brand new to this show, I treat, no matter what show I watch, I treat these people like they're real people. I treat these characters like I know them, like they would come to me for advice or something like that. And if Kristen came like, I did this, and I'm like, but didn't you take them up to the little hospital place and just leave them there? You ain't mentioned them since. Like,
Yeah,
maybe he felt abandoned. Like, did you ever think about that? Like, you ain't think about that?
the whole, he gets kidnapped and all that stuff. Then he has some mental stuff, and the girls find him curled up in the bathtub, all messed up from the quote avalanche end quote.
Yeah.
And then he tries to poison one of the girls, but then he hurts himself in the process. And you're sitting up going, I like pina coladas.
Oh man.
And I drink from a can.
So that I thought that was interesting, especially as far as the turn, and also Kristen's like whole run and activity front of it. But those two items are kind of separated by, I guess I'll get into this. The funeral.
Yeah.
The funeral, which is interesting. Because we get to see, people that what is it?
That
Kristen's
Sheryl
like,
knew.
Kristen's
Yeah.
like, I don't know none of these people. Like the kids are like, I don't know these people.
Dude.
Or the funeral, or I guess the wake, or the wake or
All right.
whatever.
So
And
what I'm about
they're
to
like, we
say
don't know
might
nobody.
what I'm about to say might sound like a tangent, all right? But you watched Peacemaker, right?
No, I haven't watched Peacemaker. I
Okay.
watched like 2 episodes. Sorry.
Okay, so the band that does the song for the opening sequence is a 1980s/90s hair metal band that they're all old, but they still dress the same way they did back in 1991.
Hey man, got to keep it classic, I guess.
And I was it would have been a great cameo to have that band as somebody in the funeral. Just like,
Wow.
yeah, I could totally see Sheryl running with glam rock bands back in the 80s, That's what
When
everybody
that
was
lady
like.
said, remember when she gave her panties to the drummer? I was like, yeah, I'm like, look, girls, y'all better just walk around this room and get to know your grandma, your real grandma.
No. Honestly,
Walk around this room and just keep your ears open.
where I see on that is, dude, she was Rad G. And,
True
and
that.
we all got that aunt or that uncle where if we find out that they were, I don't know, mercenaries for the Contras back in the 80s, or they sat in with like famous rock bands, we wouldn't be surprised. Matter of fact, that kind of thing is like, that explains a lot.
It's like, I get it now.
I mean,
I've learned
Sure.
things at funerals. Well, look, I've also, all right. Side note. Sometimes at a funeral, multiple women will want to sit on the front row, and it's interesting, to say the least. It's interesting, and when I say multiple, I'm not talking about 2. I'm not talking about 3.
You're talking
about
like
4
10.
different. I'm talking about 4 different women wanting to sit on the front row. And of course, since Big Mama is now gone, ain't no one really here to ref this thing. Because that's another thing. Sometimes when either Big Mama or, saying Papa is gone, and that's the glue, that's the kind of like the firm hand over the family, ain't nobody to settle disputes on the spot. And it's interesting. So funerals, you can learn a lot at funerals.
Oh, yeah.
You can learn a whole lot.
I have fun at every single one because I'm that relative that you already know. It's like everybody wants me to get up there and speak because I'm eloquent, but then they don't because I'm honest.
So I'll get up there and be like, well, we all love our aunt.
Now I am.
When somebody starts with that, I'm
Yeah.
already going to hang my head and be like, oh, here we go.
Like, man, I love my auntie. And I love my auntie because, I remember one time she was telling me about how she took on like 8 guys at once on the Air Force Base. And, and the whole family's like, wait, you don't talk about that? And I'm like, oh yeah, no, she was a party animal. She was a politician. She was that. Oh, what? Y'all only knew the lady that was cooking? Ah, bro, let me tell you who our uncle fell in love with.
Like, look, when you come to the guys, we know it's rough out there, especially there's a lot of emotions around funerals, but look, keep it to the happy memories. Let's move it on. We don't need a fight because there are fights at funerals. I've seen them.
Oh,
So
bro, there's gonna be a fight if it's our people.
so let's just keep it to the happy stuff. Let's move it on. We know he owes somebody money right now, but he did. Let it go. Just go on. Let's just go on and say the nice things.
Say the nice things and keep an eye on that one cousin that's trying to hustle somebody out of money for something.
Oh, he got a new business venture.
Oh,
He
yeah,
wanna
yeah,
bring to you. Oh Lord.
I
But
know.
anyway,
And honestly, that's what I think that funeral scene needed. Like, we needed to spend a little more time seeing the people that she interacted with, because she was a wild one before that company.
Yeah,
You know, that company don't take they don't tend to take unspoiled flowers from the field and corrupt them. They're like, oh no. Look,
It's
I
like, oh,
already
you
know where
crazy?
you're
Come
going
on.
after you die. Let's just make sure you get a good seat. How's that?
It's like, all right, man, come on. I see you crazy too. We crazy too. So, but the funeral we did meet Ellie, which is a very. This is one thing I like about the episode. The way they handle Ellie
Mm-hmm.
is a very, like, it's a very clever way of directing and writing that character around this.
Let's be
Which,
real. That is where all the energy in this episode went.
yeah, I mean, for a second had me wondering, like, yo, so I mean, this is supernatural, so I mean, I guess we can't really rule out that black hole thing messing up something, later on. I mean, because it's been messing up Ben ever since, so maybe
Exactly.
she talks
And
about being from the future and stuff, and I'm like, oh snap, hold up, what? I'm like, this is not this show, but it's not a far cry from supernatural, situation. So let's see where this goes.
oh
And
man, I will get knocked over my mic here. So yeah, that, like I said, this is where the energy was going, because I was confused at this episode because it could go so many places,
Mhm.
because she knew too much about the cases.
Yeah, way too much.
And then it got me thinking, wait a second, let's look at the subplot here. What's the B story? And the B story is Leland trying to get out of jail, and his new My Pillow lawyer is like,
Not the My Pillow lawyer.
I'm sorry, I was
Yeah,
just
because we gonna talk Leland, but yeah, go and call him the My Pillow lawyer. I like that.
but yeah, when he's talking about the bears and My Pillow is the real way to get sleep here in prison. When he was like, we get you put in a mental facility and we have people. And then you get Ellie from the future, who knows a bunch about cases.
A whole lot, and knows a lot about them.
And I'm like, oh, this is fascinating. Okay. So
Part of me wonders if what Ellie's doing is something that's also been kind of implanted in Andy's mind.
yeah,
Like,
that's what I mean about the whole Winter Soldier thing.
yeah,
Because those girls are his world.
true.
And she did two things. That scene had two things that didn't quite sit right with me. Where she was like, I can't believe you did this, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I was bound to meet somebody. You put me in here and I don't go anywhere. But he didn't fight when she said, I don't want to see you around my girls.
Yeah. Oh, also, quick note: because someone cheats, it doesn't make their kids not their kids, whether man or woman.
Facts.
Like, stop doing that. Regardless of whether you're a man or a woman,
Kids
doing
are
that to the
kids.
other
They're
party.
not weapons.
Yeah.
Stop
Thank you.
using kids as weapons and methods of vengeance toward the person you're in a relationship with. And I don't just mean their biological parents, I mean the possible steps too.
True. Yeah, because if there's a situation of steps and now they have a step grandma that they've known for, let's say, 6-7 years, and now it's weaponized time. That's, at least from my experience and what I've seen in families across different ethnicities. All you're doing, whether you're a man or woman, when you weaponize your children against the other party that you're mad at, you're guaranteeing adult children that resent you. Because
Facts.
sooner or later, they're going to go to the other party because they're an adult now, and they're going to find out what really happened, or at least the full story that happened.
Well, if nothing else, the guarantee is that you're going to hurt the child in the process.
Yeah.
Because most people don't think about how much force the stick gets when you hit something with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why kids are not weapons. Because when you use your kid to hit your significant other, the kid gets hit too.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But he didn't fight. That was the thing.
Yeah, good.
And I'm like,
I never noticed that part. So yeah, good picking that one up. He didn't.
You know, so I'm just kind of sitting up going, yeah, I ain't buying this. I'm not buying this. This is
lends more credence to Leland knows if he cheats, she'll divorce him, and then he'll be out the way. So we got, like you said about the last episode. So now we got the son in there. Andy's out the way. And now the Antichrist mother can, do her evil nurturing.
Yeah, exactly. And again, part of that evil nurturing is making sure that she's traumatized so that she keeps doing the stuff that makes NERDSoul mad.
I'm like, girl. I mean, the last time I said girl, I was talking about Sheryl when she was like, you knew they would have one rule: you can't touch my kids. Well, she didn't say it like that, but still.
And he's like, girl, what do you think this is?
Even Leland was like, come on now. But yeah, the whole thing with Ellie, that was a interesting and clever way to play that off or pay that off. I thought that was cool. But one of my favorite parts of this episode was seeing Leland in jail. Even if for a little bit. Seeing Leland in jail, it was nice.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any big band music, or else I'd start humming.
Oh man, seeing him in jail for just at least a little bit. We know he's getting out. Well, yeah, because there's only 3 episodes out left. He's got to get out. But it was nice for at least a couple seconds. At least a couple seconds. He's in jail and he got hit. Someone punched him in the face. So he's got a little bit of jail treatment. So at least that happened. But it seems like he's not completely useless at this moment, because his My Pillow lawyer had a little a makeover, if you will.
Well, the My Pillow lawyer was very much, this they wanted to give me a shot, and he's like, oh no, not you. And then he had to like put on his work clothes. So when he put on his work clothes and walked into that courtroom, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and that whole dragging the bodies or whatever behind him, it was definitely creepy. And also, it's still terrifying that this is like what they see, and like we don't see that. Similar to like the Constantine movie, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I think the Constantine movie is actually kind of cool. But being able to see that stuff behind the veil, now I don't know if I want to see that. I mean, part of me is like, yeah, but then part of me is like, nah.
You can see them, they can see you. Them's the rules.
Yeah, that's because if I can see them, that means they can see me, and that could be a problem for my whole family. So having him here, setting this up where he's going to have to kind of fight his way out of jail, at least through the legal system, is nice for a moment. Kristen's not paying attention to him. David's not paying attention to him. So, Ben, of course, isn't. So he's got a little wiggle room to get out of there, even though Father Dominic should be paying attention to him. But don't get me started with that. So dude trained the man and told us nothing about it. But
yeah, well, he was conspicuously absent in this episode.
Yeah. So I wonder if that has to do with Leland being in jail, why he's not there. But Leland in jail, the whole court scene, I enjoyed it. I like seeing Leland actually struggle a little bit. It's nice to see him at least have some problems. But we also get a very interesting term in this episode. It is dealing with David, because David, he the man now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yay.
He's he's the man now. Now that everything's going down, and he calls it the Black Bluff.
Uh-huh.
And the term Black Bluff is basically, all right, so this business is going out of control, is going under, everything's crashing. Let's just put a black person in charge.
Yeah,
And,
for the fall, for the public fall. Oh, and by the way, fire your friends.
Yeah. That, man, it's like, fire your friends. We're gonna turn this place into like a call center or something.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding? And then Ben is like, yo, man, look, let's just go. Like, who cares? It's over now. He was like, he told the guy, I thought we were successful. He's like, yeah, you are, but
But it's about money. It's not about anything else.
it's about money. It's like, well, what about all the good? We're like, I don't care. Stuff costs money. But a call center, that is it. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't like calling places now, because you got to hit 45 numbers before you can wait for another 45 minutes to talk to somebody. Imagine your child is throwing up green goo all over the room, and it's like, press 1 if your child is too strong. Press 2 if your child's head is turning around. Press 3. Like, you're not going to want to do that. You need
if
somebody.
If your child is speaking ancient Etruscan, please press star.
It's like, I don't think an exorcism call center is a good idea. But hey, I mean, what do I know? I don't run churches. I mean, hey, what do I know? But,
I'm just kind of sitting up going, if they're doing those kind of call centers, let's why not call center confessionals?
Like, hey, I did something bad today. All right, you healed. Peace. Like that. It's sad. It's sad that they got to go. They're getting fired. I am now intrigued to see where they end this show, like how they land this plane. Because if this is it, maybe these last 3 episodes, like, look, this is it, and y'all fired, and he said you're gonna finish out the month. So, Kristen ain't gonna have no money. Well, I mean, Kristen is still like a licensed PhD, whatever. It's not like she's not gonna be looking at the one ads. Like, I'm sure there's people that need, doctors or something. Now, on the flip side,
5 kids.
Yeah,
you got one.
Yeah, she does have 5 kids, so she needs to get a job now. She needs to hurry up, because sometimes, well, see, we don't know how her savings is set up. Like, her savings might be real good.
Savings?
Or she might be living paycheck to paycheck.
I'm gonna repeat, 5 kids. If she had any kind of savings, that add-on would have been done a long time ago.
True that. Yeah. And so she need to get a job now. Hopefully she has a trade. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm gonna keep it real. Look, hopefully she has a trade. I know people, doctors is a very, trustworthy job or something. It's very, prestigious. But it might be hard to get a job as a doctor somewhere. Maybe the therapist game is too saturated or something. So hopefully she can fall back on like an electrician or a plumber or something, where she can get some money fast. Now, look, I will say one thing. No matter what city you're in, if you're an electrician or a plumber, you can find some work.
Facts.
Now, on the music side, if you're in a larger city, if you're a good drummer, you can find some work somewhere. Now, you're gonna have to look, and you're gonna have to get along with whatever band you're slotting in with. But you can, you know what I'm saying, you can make some money. But we'll see how this last month play out, because with TV time, we don't know how long or short it's gonna be.
This episode brought to you by BetterHelp. Have you been fired from your job as an exorcist?
Yeah, we don't know where they're going to end up, especially now that, David has been like, hey, they're firing us, it's over,
Right.
and it's not the best time because the night terrors are coming back. You got Lynn on her own. Lynn is on her own with the ghost finding app, and I don't know why she decided to go outside on her own with the ghost finding app, knowing good and well there's been demons in this house. Like, at least take some backup, Lynn. Now at the
Because
same
she's
time,
12.
take some backup, girl. You got four
She's
sisters,
12.
4.
Children do stupid things. And I was actually okay with it because it gave not Lynn, not Lexa, Laura. It gave Laura time to shine.
Yeah.
Because
Or fake
Laura
Ellie and fake
no,
Laura.
not Ellie. I'm talking Laura.
Oh, where?
Laura this was her episode. This was seriously her episode.
Mm-hmm.
From the, oh, so you're me from the future. Yeah. Oh, you got to go to the bathroom. Cool. Let me just get your click on that license plate there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the if you're me, what happens if you kill me? Like, I read comics. I don't play this.
She brought in that time loop knowledge. Like, Laura came through. She came through with that knowledge, and I will give Lynn this credit. She went alone, but I'll say she didn't go alone, because when she went outside, she went with the word of God. She ain't go by herself. She said Hail Mary. She said she already knew. She was like, I need protection. She learned that from sister Andrea, so she knew.
True.
So she ain't go out. As a matter of fact, she did not go alone. All right, she went with the word of God by her side. That's why Ellie didn't get her, because Ellie crazy. We don't know what's wrong with her. Putting on wolf masks and stuff. What is wrong? Look, man. Look. All right, you're already in this crazy rehabilitation place. All right, y'all need to be. If y'all put that much energy in getting better, y'all be able to leave. You know what I'm saying? Man, don't get me started on you. Like, y'all, come on, man. Come on. Y'all supposed to be in there healing. All right. What y'all was doing in that room was not healing. Well, I mean, I guess that could be a form of healing, but that won't heal it.
We'll see. It's he had that feeling.
Oh man. Yes, he did.
And he had to go get some of that tiger's blood.
So the Lynn going outside by herself, seeing Ellie kind of chasing her down. That was you know what? Between Ellie chasing her down, and the way that she did it was real scary, and how she wanted to see Lexus, and how she wanted to see Laura so bad. You know what? Also having the box cutter. You know what? Oh, also trying to kill the kid.
Mm-hmm.
This lends more to the idea that you had about this being some Winter Soldier stuff, because she wanted Laura out the way, she wanted Lexus out the way, and she wanted the baby gone. So this is a lot of child endangerment from someone who loves his daughters.
Right.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna roll with you on that. I think I agree. This is definitely not of Andy's doing, not in his right mind at least.
Well, this is kind of why you call me onto this show, because deep down, I know you're a good person. And deep down, I'm not. And so when it comes to this stuff,
Listen to that. Solar's a good person. Don't listen to that.
Well, I see Leland and I'm like, oh, he and the 60 are trying to break Kristen. And that is important, because breaking is a very slow process. You can't just show somebody something and then they're just messed up forever. They'll be messed up for like 10 minutes, but then they'll come back. All right. But if you're really trying to break somebody, it's a death of 1,000 cuts. And It's like, Here, have another baby. Now we're going to take away your other kids. Now we're going to take away your husband. But we're not just going to take him away. Killing him would be too easy. We have to make you fall out of love with him. Now we're going to put you in a desperate situation. Like, every single thing is stacking up to make her more and more and more desperate. You feel me?
Got you.
And that's how to break a person. And, you know, because they can't do with her what they did with Andy, which was lock in a room for 2.5 months and mess with their brain chemistry. So, yeah. So everything that they're doing, and remember, they talk about the 60. And this episode, we saw something else that was really important to see. Which is the last time we saw Leland, he was taken over. And then it turns out that no, he just took over the franchise. He didn't take over the whole corporation.
Yeah.
So there are forces, I don't want to say above, so let's say forces below Leland, that are also doing their thing.
Yeah.
You know,
this is a great way to play out the long game on Kristen. So I will give them that. And like you said, with Laura coming through with the air horn, and then of course the callback to the tasers that they got from Grandma.
And the air horns.
Yeah, so we got the air horns, we got the tasers. So this stuff did play out, and we got callbacks to them. So that's good. It's just, I don't know where I feel there. I don't know how I feel about where they're taking us yet. But we got 3 episodes left, so we got a lot of ground, in my opinion, to cover.
Yeah, it was a lot crammed in.
This might be a show that ends like The Sopranos or The Wire, where it's like life goes on. Like it just be like, and the beat goes on.
Okay, so number one, if it ends like The Sopranos, I quit. If it ends like The Wire, I'm cool. I'm cool.
The way The Wire ended, it was like, and the game don't stop.
Well, it was a reminder that the main character of The Wire was the city of Baltimore, not McNutty.
Shouts to McNutty.
So if it ends that way, okay, I can get down with that. I can get down with it ending like The Wire. But what I can definitely say is that this episode had a lot crammed into it.
A whole lot.
And it took a couple of days to actually stop for a minute, just for a minute, and take it all in, go over these things. Because the filmmakers did what they did on purpose. And just because I don't know their purpose outright doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So I had to take a few things and think about it. Like the whole thing with Andy not fighting about his kids. I'm like, wait a minute. That hit me yesterday. I'm like, in my divorce, the idea of losing my kid had me curled up in a ball, messed up for at least a week. And
they did say that they kept watching that USB video over and over. That's what the nurse lady said.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something in there. She probably needs to watch that full video.
Right.
Because there's something in there that probably will illuminate stuff for her.
Well, in truth, Ben needs to watch that whole video. Because Kristen is too close.
True.
Kristen is too close, and David is too conflicted. Although, shouts out to David for coming in clutch. And I know we're kind of running out of time, but I will say this. My MVPs for this episode were both demons.
Huh. Okay.
Seriously.
Drop that for me. Drop the knowledge for me.
The mosquito was great. One scene worked it. Just, if she locks the door, you know what she wants. And he's like, will you shut up? She's like, hey, I'm just saying. She went from that, I'm trying to influence you. I'm tempting you. I'm tempting you. To that cousin you shouldn't be hanging out with, but your parents make you because they like hanging out with his mom. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's like, it's just trouble.
Yeah. And what was his name? Alan? Kirsten's personal demon?
I can't.
Oh my God. When he pulled out the popcorn, I'm like, all right, I'm all in. Huh?
The popcorn was funny.
Yes. I was just like, no, this part ain't for you. No. Oh yeah, you're trying to move your big toe. That's cute. Nope, not happening this time.
He's like, this is a good part. This is a good part. And so, I will, because since we didn't see the whole video, what we did get from Sheryl was she opens up and she straight says, like, Andy, behind me. She says, what you see behind me is a secret room in Leland Townsend's apartment where you were drained of your blood and your brain matter for several months. That has to gain a bit of sympathy for Andy from Kristen's perspective, at least a bit. Because now I'm sure Kristen's smart enough to be like, he never went on that trip. They kidnapped him. And
right now, she's in the middle of the hurt and she's overwhelmed.
Yeah, because the way she looks at the camera, the way she looks at the computer is like, oh, really? But then Sheryl continues, I need to warn you, Andy, your mind isn't always your own. She continues saying, you are highly suggestible. And then says, you need to defend Lexus. Leland thinks she is a defender of his son, Timothy. And then who he believes is the Antichrist. And then she slams the computer and throws it away. Also, laptops cost too much to be thrown around, y'all.
She didn't throw it away. She just threw it. And laptops are designed specifically to stand up to that. Yeah, at least 5 times. Because the designers know you're going to drop it.
Yeah, but I am so ginger with laptops.
Oh, I get you, but
even though I've seen there's a
take it from somebody who used to work in tech. Okay, your screen might break, but that's an easy replaceable thing. And your hard drive is going to be sturdy. It will stand up to force because they know, like the designers of it know, you're gonna leave it on top of the car one day.
I can't remember the name of the photographer, but is a photographer on YouTube. I used to watch every now and then, and he had like the best gear, the best tech, all these great cameras, but he would just be throwing them in the bag and tossing them and dropping them. So I'm like, whoa, be careful. Let's be careful. Like, that's not even my camera, but I'm still like, I'm looking at him throwing around like, oh my God, please no.
Well, you and I come from the school of we're not endorsed by companies.
Well, yeah, because I'm like, oh, that camera's like $3,000. Oh, and that lens is $3,000. Oh, that camera is $5,000.
Look, I promise you, not even Hendrix's record company paid for all those Fenders that he set on fire. Fender said, if Hendrix sets one of our guitars on fire on stage, 10,000 Hendrix fans will buy those Fenders. We can give him 20.
Oh boy. So yeah, that this episode, I don't know how I feel while going forward, but I like the crazy ride we would put on. Also the weird opening they did, like Fear the Future and stuff.
The B movie opening instead of the book.
Yeah, I was like, okay, all right. I guess they're letting us know it's separate thing. But I'll throw it to you. Final thoughts, and where can they find you?
My final thoughts is when I first finished this episode, I was confused. I was perplexed. It was a lot that went in on it. But you know what else I had that feeling on?
What?
Avengers Endgame.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't hyped when I left the theater, but after a while, letting it soak in, watching it a couple of more times, wrapping my head around what the story actually was, what the filmmakers were communicating, what the payoffs were, then I'm like, oh yeah, this is fire. you know, and
Okay,
that's what I
okay.
kind of see with this episode, where it's got to marinate in my head. Like, it's out of the oven, but I don't know if you've ever made like a chocolate cheesecake or French silk cheesecake, but when you first take it out the oven, do not eat it, because it will be bitter and angry and it will
Wow.
not taste good. However, if you let it sit and cool and settle, then by the next morning, it will taste how you imagined it tasting while you were cooking.
Ah, no, see, I've never made cheesecake. See, anything that I like, any baked stuff I've made, like cakes or muffins, it tastes like it's supposed to taste when it's done. So,
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. It's this one's got to marinate for a little longer, because
okay.
it came on a few days ago, and the more I think about it, the more I notice, and the more I notice, the more I go, all right, okay, all right, well done. You feel me?
Okay. And maybe, because now that I think, especially talking with you about the Winter Soldier aspect of it all, I wonder if, yeah, I'll save that for my final thoughts, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So honestly, this is an example of engaging media. All right. This episode was not like, even more so than any other episode of Evil I've seen, this was not an episode that you put on in the background.
Oh, no, not
You
at
had to put this one on, put the kids to bed, tell the significant other not to bother you, make sure you went to the bathroom, and keep the back 10 seconds button right underneath your finger, because you have to watch this episode.
Yeah, I ran a couple of moments back in this.
And so yeah, that's where I'm sitting on that. I think I like it a lot. I think it's the best made episode of the season, but it hasn't emotionally hit me. So
okay.
I don't know, maybe if it really hits me, I'll probably leave something in the comments. And y'all can reach me over at twitch.tv/BID_P. I will be broadcasting again this week on Wednesday and Friday. And we are going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, because I got some thoughts on a lot of things this week.
Okay, this what's up. My final thoughts. If they're gonna do the Winter Soldier type of vibe, I think it really makes sense as a long game play for Leland. Because if I'm in Leland's shoes, I know sooner or later, well, maybe not sooner or later, but there is a possibility that I'll be on my own and I won't be able to have the resources I need from DF. But if I can go in and bake in an agent on the inside of Kristen's home that has full access to her, the kids, the house, the backyard, the keys and all that, that's invaluable. So to have someone on the inside that is literally under your mind control, honestly, and I hate to say this, in one night could make everyone disappear except the kids that he wanted to keep. It's not a bad insurance policy.
Exactly.
It's not bad at all. I mean, it's horrible, but it's not a bad insurance policy at all. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out, man. Leland, I'm glad you got hit. And sorry, David, that you have to be the Black Bluff, but we'll catch you next week. So NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. Until the next time, this is us telling you, don't go outside at night by yourself. And also, if someone is trying to tell you that from the future, like, just double check facts and run them back on some Star Trek knowledge, some Back to the Future rules, even some Avengers rules. Like, run them around some time rules and see if they're really, really telling the truth. Just because somebody bursts in a room and says, "What year is it?" Don't trust that. All right, don't trust it. So For us to you, we're just saying peace.
See you guys next time.